Hello everyone and welcome to Swiflearn, India's most sincere learning destination for classes 1 to 10. At Swiflearn, we try harder each day to transform millions of lives. If you are new to the channel and if you haven't subscribed to it yet, then go and subscribe to the channel because I am sure you would not want to miss any new content that we keep uploading exclusively for you. My name is Charu and today we are going to go through the most amazing tips and techniques that will not only save you time but also help you to produce quality work. So what are we actually going to discuss? I will reveal that in some time. Let me ask you this one question before that. So does it happen with you that you keep reading the concepts but when you reread the previous concepts, the words look really fresh as if you have never read them? Happens with everyone, right? Everyday story. Okay, so if it does happen with you, don't worry because today I am going to tell you how you can actually study smart and not hard. So let's get started. In this lesson, we are going to discuss the surefire tricks to crack exams, not to forget with less study hours. So we are going to discuss how you can actually divide your study into chunks, study like a teacher, how you can use flashcards while you're studying and making notes, then how practice can make you better and perfect, then how if you ask more questions, how will that affect your studies in good way, in a better way, right? And then we're also going to learn what is the importance of spaced repetition and why should we follow it. So let's get started. Number one, the most important quote. If something is very important to you, you will definitely find a way of doing it. If it is not important to you, you will only have excuses, right? It is a very powerful quote said by someone, given by someone, and it holds a lot of importance. It is very crucial, all right? So if your studies is very important for you, if you really want to spend less time but produce more, then keep watching the video and watch it entirely. Let's start with our first technique, that is going to be study in chunks. What do you understand by chunks? Chunks means when you divide your study into small sections and segments. What happens if you divide your study into small chunks and sections? It helps your brain to process information, right? Number one, it helps your brain to process information because our brain can process information better if it is told things in chunks, right? Then next is create your to-do list, create a timetable, create targets that you can achieve, not unachievable targets, okay? And then don't forget that memory has its limit. You don't have to pressurize yourself, right? So take a break, divide your lessons into chunks, and then keep reading them and revisiting them. All right, now next is make your own flashcards. This technique is one of my personal favorites, okay? Let me tell you that you can always create flashcards whenever you are creating notes. It helps you to retain information better. You can remember things for a longer time and you will never have to reopen your notebooks again and again and flip pages to find the important information. So what you can do is you can take flashcards. They're easily available on internet as well. You can go to Amazon, you can buy them. If not, then you can create your own at home using your drawing sheets. All right, so all you have to do is you have to write down the important information on those flashcards, okay? Whichever phrases and words are very tricky, so you can write them down and then write down their meaning. You can add pictures that are uniquely yours, something that is going to help your brain to retain information better. Why? Because a picture speaks 1,000 words, right? So you cannot remember the words, but if you have a picture related to that, you can remember it better, okay? Remember that it does not have to make sense for others, it only has to make sense for you. Now, third is very important and works like a magic. Third is study like a teacher. So whenever you take up a concept and read it yourself, you might not be able to understand it better. But if you read it like a teacher, thinking that you have to explain it to someone who doesn't know a word about it, then you will concentrate better because you want to simplify that information, right? So when you start thinking like a teacher, you will be able to anticipate and predict important questions from it, and then you will be able to teach that concept to someone who doesn't know it, maybe your friend. Okay, you can try this on your friend who needs help from you. Okay, this will give you a better understanding of the topic, and then you can give yourself a test periodically, just like your teachers do in your schools and coaching centers. Okay, so just try to teach and study like a teacher. Okay, and then obviously practice makes a man perfect. So practice, practice, and practice more in order to achieve your desired target. So sweat more in practice, bleed less in war. How important and a cool quote, right? Sweat more in practice, bleed less in war. So if you give more time to practice the concepts, it will be easier for you to attempt that concept in examination. Okay, it will not waste your time at that time. Okay, and your glory meter will change from pathetic to glorious. Okay, because if you sweat more in practice, then it reduces your anxiety, it gives you the true picture, and you know how to manage time better. Okay, so keep solving the mock tests. Okay, because that denotes practice, practice, and practice. Okay, that way. Now next is asking more questions. Obviously, whenever you ask questions, it gives you time to think, it gives your brain to process information, right? It makes you very curious, it arouses your inquisitiveness. All right, so he who questions remains unaware for the next 5 minutes, but he who doesn't question remains fool forever. Simple. Okay, so don't hesitate in asking questions, whether to your teachers, whether to your friends, even if it's the simplest of that question. Remember that he who doesn't question remains a fool forever, right? And we don't want to remain fools, right? We want to succeed in our lives, right? So for that we have to ask questions even while you're reading. So that is called as active reading, right? So whenever you are reading actively, you should always create 2 columns in your notebooks. On one side you should keep on writing what you're reading, and then on the other side write down questions related to that, open-ended questions, and then think on those questions and try to answer them. Okay, because if you ask questions, you can make connections with other ideas, right? That is called active reading and not passive reading. Okay, current understanding of the topic can be developed better if you question yourself while you are reading, right? Don't allow your brain to rest, keep it active and interactive while you are studying. Okay, then next is again an important technique. I have been calling each and every technique as important because they are really magical techniques. Okay, so try to practice spaced repetition. So this one is that you should be able to distribute your lessons and revisit them at increasing intervals. So how should you do that? It helps you to recall and review whatever you have practiced and learned in the past, right? Because our brain is like a pen drive, right? So you cannot keep every information in it, right? So you have to delete a few delete some information in order to bring new information to that, right? So you have to keep recalling and reviewing as well. Okay, so you start with, like, you take some topic and suppose you're reading tenses, right? So you have learned about tenses today, so after 24 hours you revisit the topic. Okay, just have a quick glance through the topic, then after 3 days you can just look at the topic, then after 5 days, then increase it to 7 days, then increase it to 10 days, then increase it to 15 days, then increase it to 1 month, then increase it to 6 months, then 3 months, then 6 months, and then increase it to, you can read it during your exam time, right? So that's how it works. So this is called as spaced repetition. So whenever you revise, it becomes better and stronger in your brain, right? So even when you are passive, at that time also that idea will strike your brain and you will never have to put in any effort. Okay, so that's the power of spaced repetition. Next is, it brings the increase in your efficiency curve. So your efficiency curves, instead of falling down, keeps on increasing and your concepts can be retained better. Okay, so if you really want some excellent grades and if you're aiming for excellent grades, then follow the tricks and ace your grades. They work 100%, 100%, 100%. Okay, so here we come to the end of this video. I hope you have got some important techniques that I have shared with you today. So tell me in the comment section which one is your favorite. Okay, so all the best for your exams. I will be back with another video very soon. Keep showering love, keep liking the video, sharing it with your friends and subscribing to the channel. Bye everyone, take care.